What is the best education system for the future of our children? Where can I get the best education for my children? When they grow up, will they be a good person and a good Muslim? These are some of the concerns parents have, especially for those with small children. These are also the same questions my wife and I had. From there, the idea of opening a holistic education institute using the Montessori method came to life with Brainy Bunch. The main mission of Brainy Bunch is to train and nurture 1 million children who are obedient to the commandments of Allah and practices the Sunnah of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are 5 main things that are nurtured in students of Brainy Bunch: love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, love of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, love to parents, love of the heaven, love of the ummah. A school that uses the Montessori method is different from a school that uses a traditional method. The Montessori method believes that children do not need to be forced to learn, and this system of education is very fun. With that, students are always motivated to learn. This concept is very suitable with the fitrah of a child which yearns for a positive environment in teaching and learning. Through this method, the potential of a child can be developed and their self-confidence can be improved. Each class has only 15 children. This is to ensure that teachers can give their full attention to students during the teaching and learning session in class. The Montessori method combines 3 age groups in one class, which are 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, until 9-year-olds and beyond. This concept allows all the students to lead and mentor the younger ones. The use of English as a language of instruction during the process of teaching and learning in school is a decision made to master the current world language. We do not give the title teacher, but we use the title auntie and uncle at Brainy Bunch because teachers are a part of our families. The best of man is the one most beneficial to others, a hadith narrated by Muslim. At Brainy Bunch, we believe that each child has a big potential to become someone successful and useful in the future. As parents who love and care for their children's education, we have to find a method and a school that is the best for our children. With a complete education, inshallah, we will be able to produce children who want to be as great as Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar al-Khattab, and Abdul Rahman bin Auf, who used their wealth for Islam and the Ummah. 6 qualities of the Sahaba, which will be instilled in all students of Brainy Bunch, are: faithful towards the Kalimah Tayyibah, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Have khushu' and khudu' in salah. Knowledgeable and practices zikrullah. Praises all Muslims. Performs ibadah with a sincere niyat. Preaches people to Allah and spreads their knowledge. Let's all change for our children's future. Give them a chance to become a preacher of Allah, continuing the work of the prophets, calling people to obey Allah and follow the way of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the guidance of the Sahaba and the Salihin. Give the best to your children. Register now at www.brainybunch.com/register.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone, and welcome to another live session with us, Brainy Bunch International Islamic Montessori School. I am Uncle Fattah and I am going to be your moderator for today. Now, for the past few sessions, we delved quite deeply into a few subjects that we offer in Brainy Bunch International Islamic Montessori School. We also talked about the high school in general. And today, we do have a very special guest, which is flown over, specially from China. And that special guest is going to talk to us and explain to us, share her experience about Mandarin as a language and how is it implemented and taught in Brainy Bunch International Islamic Montessori School. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, the wonderful Laosha Zainab. Laosha Zainab, can you please introduce yourself a little?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, here is Laoshi Zainab. Actually, my Chinese name is Yin Zhi Ming. Maybe it's not easy to pronounce it. Okay, you just can call me Laoshi Zainab. All of my students call me Laoshi Zainab. Okay, actually, I'm from China. I have been teaching Mandarin as a foreign language, a second language, or first language 10 years, more than 10 years. I have been teach brain bench student for 5 years. This year is my sixth year to teaching Mandarin in Brainy bench. Actually, I teaching from the lower LM, upper LM, and to high school student level. Okay.
All
And
right.
I'm glad to get this opportunity to share the experience or share our school the courses and to also want to respond to some of the parents their concerns.
All right, inshallah. Now,
Sorry.
no problem. Before we start, thank you very much for that introduction, Laosha. I think we are going to wait for a few minutes so that more people can come in and join for our live session. Let me ask you one other question just to get to know you a little bit better. Now, you've been in Malaysia for quite some time. Can you tell us your journey uh, on how you came about to be in Malaysia? Was it for study? Was it for work? Why are you here?
Okay, actually, my experience, the, okay, actually, around 10 years ago, this is my my first time to came to Malaysia to study in UIA. Actually, my major is taking master from there is Wusuluddin and compare religions. But before my major is Chinese language and literature in bachelor. So after that, when I graduate, I got the opportunity to teach in Mandarin in Brain Bench until now.
All right, alhamdulillah. So, circumstances of your study and I believe a little bit of your work has led you to Malaysia and in turn teach our wonderful students for quite some time in Brainy Bunch. Right, thank you very much for that introduction, Laosha Zainab. Again, Laosha Zainab is our head of department for the Mandarin department, and she leads three other Laoshas, one of which is from China, like Laosha Zainab, and two of which are our local Laoshas from Malaysia. Now, inshallah, without further ado, I will carry on with the questions that we have for Laosha Zainab. All right, Laosha, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you tell us, Laosha, in Brainy Bunch International Islamic School, Mandarin is offered as a foreign language. Can you tell us a little bit on how it is offered, until what level, and what kind of activities do you do in a Mandarin class?
Mm. Okay. Thank you for your question. Actually, as we know, Mandarin is most commonly spoken first language in the world today, and is also the second most popular language used on the internet. So therefore, a lot of students they can study this beautiful language here at Brainy Bench. And then we offer these courses since 2012. I think it's around more than 10 years. So we offer these courses from the lower LM, upper LM, and also high school student. So as we know, Brainy Bench is Montessori teaching method. So when we teach the lower LM student, we combine with the teaching method, Montessori teaching method, like we use the apparatus. We also used a flashcard to play the games, make activities in the class for the lower LM student, like them to feel funny, because our goal is not to take exam or like them to sit in the examination. Is not that is not our goal. So for Mandarin in our school is a foreign language, and we try to provide the environment to the student to feel comfortable to sit in the class to learn, and also can use this language out of the school. So this is
All right, thank you very much. So, as I understand, Mandarin in Brainy Bunch is taken not only as something that the students will, in the end, take an exam for, be assessed, and then take a grade, but for them to actually engulf themselves in the language, in the culture, so that they may in turn use it for communication. I believe
exactly.
one of our aims is for the students to be comfortable enough to use Mandarin as a means of communication with native speakers. Is that correct, Laosha?
Exactly. Echo.
All right, thank you very
Mm.
much. So that
So,
is the first question for us today. Now, the second one is you did mention that Mandarin will be carried out, the lessons will be carried out throughout the schooling years from lower elementary, upper elementary, as well as high school. Now, may I know the details of which Mandarin subject the students are going to take in the case that they want to take it for an IGCSE exam? Because we know for IGCSE there are certain types of subjects for any one language. Example, English, there's second language, ESL, and there's also first language English, which is FLE. Is it the same case with Mandarin?
Okay, thank you for your asking. Actually, in our school, we not only we offer four languages as a subject to all students. It's not option. The student can choose any language to take, because we offer four languages: like Bahasa, Malay, Arabic, and English. Actually, first is should be the English, and because that is our communicate media language, and then Mandarin four language we offer to all the students. But end of the final year or the IG year, the student no need to take all these languages as IGCSE. As foreign language, no need to take this because it's a heavy work for the student. They need to focus on other subjects and more than Mandarin. But that's and so this is why this is the reason we don't really focus on the examination, like them to like a junior student to do many past the year paper or like that. Not that way. As I said before, in our school, we offer these courses only try to like the student to interesting in this language, to know more culture about Chinese culture, something else like this. And also we encourage students to use this language in daily life, do the conversation or anything else like this way. So that's why we don't how to say force the student to memorize the Chinese character, as we know that is very difficult and complex to spend more teaching hours to let them to do the practice how to trace the Chinese character. But the lower LM, we like we would like the student to know how to trace, because they have a, how do we say, they know how to draw, like draw or trace the Chinese character, like them to learn that. But for the high school or upper level student, we don't force them to do a lot of homework to trace and memorize how do we write a Chinese character. It's not that way. We pay more attention to the reading, or speaking, or conversation. Even they don't know how to write that character, but they know how to use it and how to use this word to create a sentence, something like this. Mm,
All right. Thank you very
mm,
much for that very thorough answer, Laosha. So
mm,
I believe that even though Mandarin is can be taken as an examination, but in Brainy Bunch, like you said, the overall picture is not to only ace the tests, but
mm,
to actually understand and use the language itself. Because in learning language, sometimes, especially when it comes to examinations, people
mm,
can get straight A's for their language papers, but in terms of usage of language,
mm.
sometimes they are not too confident. I think it's the same case for Bahasa Melayu and as
Yeah.
well as English as well. So we are very much focusing on the students' ability in using the language practically rather than
Mm,
just taking it as another subject to ace, inshallah. Right. Thank you very much for
mm,
your answer, Lausha Zainab.
mm.
One question. The other question is now a student's life in Brainy Bunch spans about 11 years from lower until high school. Now, they have been exposed to Mandarin as a foreign language throughout those years. What can we expect the students to be able to achieve in terms of Mandarin as a communicative language? What can we expect from the graduates? What can they do with the Mandarin language?
Yes. Actually, I teaching all, and right now I teaching all of the high school students. As we know, currently it's not all of the high school students, like junior students who are in year 10. It's not all of them. They learn Mandarin from our school from the first year to to year 10, but some of the students they come from the other school transfer to ours, and then some of the students they learn Mandarin from the out of our school, so it's they are not in the same level. So today I just want to explain what is their how do we say the life skills after graduate from our school from the first year to the end, so what they can do able to achieve. So we hope that all of the students able to make a simple conversation with native speaker, because in Malaysia this is very special. Special not the same like in other Europe country we learn Mandarin, and if you're not going to the the Chinese Chinese society, you cannot get a chance to use this language. In Malaysia, it's very special. You learn Mandarin, and you have many Chinese people around you, like your neighbor, your friend. In the future, maybe your colleague can speak Chinese, so that you get more chance to use this language. So our concern is hope to all of the students able to make a simple conversation with them, and able to design and make a poster in Chinese. Maybe in the future they will use in their working environment, and able to read and understand menu. When they go to the restaurant, they can make order, so what they want to eat, they can say some of name of special the Chinese restaurant, they can make order in Chinese. So, and able to introduce themselves in Chinese, able to master the learning skills, and can continue this word concept. um, Graduate is not end of learning. So maybe they already get the basic. In the future they are study in the college, they can take Mandarin as a second language, or they can continue to learn this language, and they also have the basic knowledge. It's easy like them to pass that course, inshallah. And
Inshallah.
able to write a resume in Chinese. This is for high school student. I hope they can do it when they write the resume, or they applied any work, any job, and then they can write resume in English, in Bahasa, in Chinese. Even they can use this language to write their resume, and able to type Chinese character and send a message. This the high school student, they are learning now how to type Chinese character, how to send a message in Chinese, do the simple communicate with others, the Chinese speaker, a native speaker, and to know the Chinese culture or philosophy and their Chinese human religions or something else. They know about that. When they celebrate this like festival, they know what the meaning of this festival, something like this. So that's what I want the student before to graduate. They know able to achieve this, inshallah.
All right. Thank you very much. A more practical approach. What can they apply in real life? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Laosha. Just to share, it was a coincidence that I actually had dumplings for dinner today.
Oh, really?
Information. I didn't
Uh,
realize that I am going to have a conversation about the Mandarin language, but thinking about it, I had dumplings for dinner. That's just some added information for everyone out there. All right, thank you very much, Laoshi, for that. Now moving on to the fourth question. Thank you very much for your answer. Um, which textbook or what resources do you use to teach students in Brainy Bunch?
mm. Okay. Actually, in our school, we use the many different kind of resource to teaching students, but the main source is Easy Step to Chinese for kids and Easy Step to Chinese for high school student for adult. So that's we use in the class as main resource. And but we also how do we say, we combine some teaching method like I said before, the Montessori teaching method, use it in teaching this book in the classroom. So that's why it's a special, say, different with other school in teaching Mandarin as a foreign language. And so, Easy Step to Chinese, this book is very famous actually. Most of the international school, they use this book for the students who are taking Mandarin as a foreign language and second language. They use that book. For our lower LM student, they will learn three books of it. And for high school, they also need to learn three books before they graduate.
Okay.
Mm.
Easy steps to Mandarin, is it?
Easy step to man. Easy
Easy
step to Chinese. Yes,
to
easy. Mm,
All right.
mm.
I heard that you are in active communication with the author of the book as well.
Yes, exactly. Because when it's around 6 years ago, when I started to teach this book to our school student, I still confused about how do we use this normal book, because other school they use this book to teach all the students focus on the examination, but our school is far different with them. So I just thinking, how do we use this book to teach our school use the Montessori method? So that's why I got a chance to meet with the author to discuss, to discover actually how do we use this book. We pick up some of the main content to use in the class, and also we design our Mandarin team is awesome. Laoshi Sarah, Laoshi Siti Haja, and also other teachers. They're awesome. They make our materials by ourselves. So like a flashcard, like other operators, we try to use that to teach a low LM student in the classroom, like them to feel fun, not just to read, not just to use the textbook. Mm.
All right. Thank you very
Mm.
much, Laura. I think it's good hearing that you are in contact with the author. So the objectives and the initial plans for the book, you get it firsthand from the author, the person who wrote the book. Thank you very much, Lausha. Now, we don't have any more questions after this one, so this one is the last one, but you can expand, you can talk about anything you want, because the floor is yours. You are the guest for today. But I'll move on to the last question nonetheless. Now, when students learn Mandarin in school, sometimes when they go home, the parents don't know a thing about Mandarin. Sometimes the kids come home and they suddenly talk Mandarin. The parents just don't know what to do. Some of them know little, some of them know nothing at all. So if a parent were to stumble upon this kind of situation, right? A child is learning Mandarin and they want to know how they can help the kids at home. What can parents do at home to help the students learn or practice the Mandarin, learn and practice Mandarin?
Yes, Uncle. Actually, this question I also got to do in the progress report when we meet with some of the parents. They also have the same question as me. Actually, that's true. For Mandarin is very special, not same with other three languages, English, Arabic, and Bahasa. The parents, they can help the children, help their kids to study at home, but Mandarin is very special. But I also can give some of the, how do we say, the tips we can use it in when they go back home. So as in our school, we have a long holiday like last year, the last month, December, we have around 1 month. The student, how do we help them to a review or how to give them the environment to learn the Mandarin continue during the holiday or out of the school. So for the lower alum, I suggest them to watch the animation, or for the high school, I suggest them to watch the drama or movie in Chinese because we have the subtitle. They can learn and then they can understand what does mean. What maybe they can pause. Oh, this sentence is very interesting. I want to learn this sentence. They can pause and then learn. And then, so that's, the most of the students, they come to me, they say, 我喜欢吃冰淇淋. You watch that video? This is from the one of the movie star. They teach, they say that 我喜欢吃冰淇淋, and most of the students, they learn from that. And then they come to me, 老师, ice cream, is it 冰淇淋? I say, yes. How you know that? They watch that video and they know. Everyone knows about that in our school. They come to show it. Oh, awesome! So that's it's better than me to teach you. And the parents also can help the kids to install the rating apps, the application on the parents' phone to play with them, to show with them, like them to use the apps to learn, like memorize more vocabulary, can use that to learn, like a seem like game, uh, and learn to sing the student favorite song and the or the popular song, and they can learn from the video and post the rating video to Instagram or any social media if they interested to do it. For example, today we learned the sentence from Laoshi Zainab, and I want to say, I want to read it and make video. 老师, I know how to say 我喜欢吃冰淇淋, and they make video and they post. This is what they want to do, and they how do we say, they how passionate to do, just like them to do, inshallah. And design the poster. I think that design the poster during the Mandarin the language week. Actually, I hope that some of the students, they can make the poster by themselves, and then we can do a competition, something else like that. Okay, and then draw comic. This we do last years. Most of the students, some of the students, they like to join this. And also, this is very important. Some students already get the Chinese friend. This make a friend with the Chinese student. This will be help them to learn more Chinese from their friend. So this is some of the tips, or some of the, how do we say, my suggestion we can use this way to, like, the student to improve the level out of the school, inshallah.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I remember one thing. I saw the Mandarin videos that the students did, and I believe, and I really think those are wonderful. Uh, it was very cute, and the students really tried their best to use Mandarin. I think it showed that they were not the masters of the language, but they understood the usage of it. And you talking about the Ping Chilin thing, it was so funny because all the kids are using that word. Even my nieces and nephews are using that word because when things like that become mainstream or become a meme, the students pick it up very fast. But when it comes in a classroom, it becomes harder for them to learn. All right, thank you very much, Laosha. Again, I think your answer emphasized our our objective of using Mandarin as a communicative language rather than something just to take for an examination. Your assessments for high school using real language in real circumstances. I think that was very nice of you. All right, that is the end of my official questions that were given to me by our vice principal. Now, I think we do have a few comments, but in the meantime, okay, you have any to collaborate with Brainy Kindergarten to strengthen Mandarin lessons in Kindi? Do you have any interaction or integration with the kindergarten as of now, Laosha Zainab?
Right now, I don't really clear about that. But before we offer this Mandarin to the kindergarten student, but is option lah. The student actually that is not very clear about that.
All right then. Okay, because we do, in some cases, some things are done in the international school first, and then it trickles down to kindergarten. I believe one instance of it is the Silat, which was done in international school first, and then it was trickled down to
Yeah.
kindergarten. Uncle
Mm,
Bat, do we
mm.
have any more questions coming in from the comments? Good to see you too, Ustaz Abdullah. Thank you very much for that comment.
Thank
I
you.
believe we do not have anything else. Okay, Laosha. Now, if I was a student, probably last question from me or a situation from me. If I was a student and I found Mandarin to be very hard for me, but I really want to learn it. I think the applications of Mandarin, like you said, is very wide. I can use it in transactional conversation. I can use it in my resumes, and I can use it to learn about other people's culture. Now, if I really want to learn it, but I'm having a difficult time, um, what are some tips and tricks that you have to make learning Mandarin easier?
Yes. Okay. So the first thing is don't think that is difficult. Because we already how do we say the worst brand that is the most difficult the language in the world. So forget that. Firstly, forget that. Think about it's very easy. It's easy to master, and then you have the confidence and to
Are you,
learn it.
are you sure it's
Yes,
easy,
you
Laosha?
already know that is very difficult. It's the most difficult language, and then so you will give it. You will give up. So first thing, don't think that is difficult. It's easy to master, and you try to learn the basic of it. But don't always to how do we say like other people to judge you. Oh, try to make perfect pronunciation. Try to make a correction. Your pronunciation is not clear, is not good. No, don't think about we can speak this language perfect. So we use this language if what I'm saying other native speaker and can understand. That's it. If you think about it, I don't want to be this is not my how do we say Chinese literature, Chinese language. I don't want to get that level. I just want to learn very simple. So try to use the way from the beginning. Actually, I want to share something, but it's not to maybe someone they want to say maybe that is not a good way, but I use it and working. So when I started to learn Arabic, some of the word and pronunciation I cannot master it. So that's why I use the Chinese character with Chinese pronunciation to help me to catch it. For example, I want to share some sample here. For example, we have a 早餐 means breakfast. 早餐 means breakfast. But 餐, this word, the initial pronunciation, 吃, we never use it in English. This sound we never use in English, but we have the similar sound cats.
Cats.
Cats. That we pick that sound and use it as initial 吃 and 餐. So we got the word 餐, 早餐.
All right, a little bit of a
So try
phonics,
to
right?
use the language what we already master, and then use that song to help us to pronounce
Mm,
the Chinese pronunciation. That will be work in the in learning. So this is one of the tips. The second one is we try to watch more movie or the drama. So I have one of the students, they come to me, say some word is out of our textbook, out of our class. So how you know this sentence? How you can speak like that? 老师, is it correct? Yes, of course it's correct. I learned from the video, I learned from the drama, I learned from the movie. So some of the word they learn from the movie, and they have a very, how do we say, the good impress. Mm. So this is, I think, is working, inshallah.
inshallah. All right. I think a similar circumstance or uh, situation to the one that you just explained is how Malaysians cannot or find it difficult to pronounce the sound in English, like the, father, mother. But in Arabic, there is the letter tha, whereby they have to rub the teeth with the tongue, like that. But Malaysians, not all of them, but I think quite a number of them find it difficult to say the father. It becomes the father, mother. But in
Mm,
Arabic, when they read the Quran or they use the Arabic language, they can pronounce or just make the sound very, very
mm,
easily. Right. Thank you
mm,
for that
mm,
wonderful explanation and a little bit of sharing there. We have one question there.
mm.
Hi, Laosha.
Okay.
My
Mm,
kids was with Brainy Bunch and learning Mandarin from lower now. She
mm,
is already year 2 in high school, but
mm,
it's they still not be able to communicate fluently.
mm.
How can we help the students on this?
Okay. As I said before, some of the students they learn from the lower LM to the high school. They learn some of the simple sentence or simple conversation. But if we don't have the chance or opportunity to use that, so for example, this year, every year for high school, every year we will learn 5 topic, and for lower LM, every year they will learn 7 topic. So under this topic, they will learn the vocabulary related or the sentence related. And then after learning, next year we will learn new 5 topic. So if they don't have they don't have the opportunity to use that word or sentence next year, they may forget some of it. So I think that is the one of the reason the student, like now this year, the first lesson we just this week is the third week, is the third week, right? Eh?
Mm,
This week is the third week, right? So the first week when I do the ice breaking, I give them the simple one, the greetings. Ni hao, hello, what's your name? For high school student, they already learn Mandarin 6 year, but still have some student forget. How do we say that? Because they learn it 6 years ago. So that's why when they go to high school, they do use that. They don't ask what is your name in Chinese to other students. So that's why they lose the chance to use it. So I think that is one of the reason they cannot after learning they cannot memorize all what they learn. So how in the future they can go back to like the memories come back to them, and then we can use more and more and more. So this is very important. Now in our class we like them to do the group practice, like them to use what you can say, you just say, do the communicate to each other. Because one more thing is very important in the future when they use the language like English. After we learn, we don't use the basic of it to ask the native speaker what to communicate with the native speaker, right? We don't ask, hello, may I ask you some question? Not really like this, right? we do communicate with them should be very fast and how do we say relaxed. It's not like we read a sentence in the class. So let them to relax and then try to get a chance to do the communicate with the native speaker. I think the memory will come back to them, inshallah. Mm,
All right, inshallah.
mm,
I think practice is key.
yes.
Probably more practice with the students, probably more activities in school as well uh, can help them master the language, inshallah. A question from Farah Wahida Abdul Rashid. Assalamu
Mm.
alaikum. Does BBIGCSE offer Mandarin paper? Thank you very much.
Mm. Mandarin paper, you mean the IGCSE as a foreign language, right?
Yep.
Actually, in our school, we don't offer this IGCSE Mandarin right now. Just to say, currently we don't have, but we don't know the future. And one more thing is the student already take English as a first language or second language. And also we have the student must to take Bahasa Melayu as a foreign language. So that's why it's for IGCS is I think it's already enough for them. But we learn this language in the future if they want to take it because as I mentioned before, if we focus on the exam, the teaching method or the teaching, how do we say, the syllabus is not really same with what we are using now because we don't ask the student to do many past year paper or focus on the exam answer skills. It's not that way. So we focus on the communicate or the practice like what we have learned in this lesson vocabulary and use that to create a sentence and then you create more dialogue use the sentence we have learned. That is what we focus on. It's not after we learn the vocabulary and then you memorize, you know how to write it, you know how to use it, and then you write it many times and you memorize. And two, when I say this word, you know how to write it, and then focus on the exam, like focus on the grammar. It's not that way. So if we focus on that way, so we will spend more time, more teaching method, more teaching hours on that way. So I think right now we cannot do like that. So, but the student learn Mandarin actually, okay, the learning Mandarin in Brainy Bench is not the goal is not for examination.
All right. Thank you very
Mhm.
much, Laosha. We do not offer it yet, just because there is no demand yet, meaning to say that there is no student who is planning to take it yet. But in the case that a student wants to take it for IGCSE, we are very much open to have classes for the students and also to register them for that examination. It just so happens that this year we do not have a student who is planning to take IGCSE. All right, thank you very much, Laosha Zainab. Uncle Bad, do we have any more comments? Okay, all right. He hao, I'm Muhammad, a student at Lower LM
Hello.
from Ali. Ni
Ni
hao.
hao.
Hey there, Muhammad. This is your Laosha talking here. All right, any more, Uncle Bad? I believe that's all for today. Now, thank you very much, Laosha Zainab, for joining us for our live session today. Just a gist on what the discussion was all about. We talked about the journey of a student from lower elementary up until high school, how the school sees Mandarin as a communicative language, what the expectations of the school are, and what our goals are. So if you have any further questions or comments, you can drop a comment on this video or DM this Facebook profile so the admins can share the questions to the respective people. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you again, Laosha Zainab.
Thank you, Uncle Fattah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Join us again next week. We will have more interesting topics to share as well, just like this one today. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Uncle Bat, being our technician for today as well. Have a good night, everyone. Assalamualaikum
Good
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
night. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Uncle Fattah.
You're welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here's a number to remember. 2 billion. 2 billion future leaders are waiting for our judgment call. 2 billion young minds are looking at our teachings, our lessons, our guidance, our help to illuminate their path, our move, our direction, our choice of conduct. But we, as parents and guardians who work hard to put food on the table and support the family, can only do so much. The least that we can do is to put them in an environment that will nurture their natural inclinations towards positivity and goodness to benefit as many as possible. As protectors of their future, we must equip them with the best of early childhood education to ensure their self-confidence and self-esteem are kept in check as they traverse through the world in their lifetime. We must ensure that inshallah, as these young minds bloom, they can exchange ideas and cause impact to the world. And the key to do this is the mastery of the English language, as it is the language of the world. Most importantly, we must realize that the true potential of a human being can only be realized when he or she connects with his or her creator. Thus, a solid foundation in Islamic education will help kids to grow and love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and benefit the world wheresoever they may go. Alhamdulillah, Brainy Bunch Islamic Montessori, the world's #1 brand in Islamic Montessori education, has paved the way to provide children an Islamic Montessori English-speaking environment for the last 11 years across over 100 campuses, starting from Malaysia to Singapore, Indonesia, Gaza, and most recently, Brunei Darussalam. And Alhamdulillah, as of today, we've impacted the lives of almost 10,000 children. But now, our dreams are bigger. We aim to educate millions, maybe even billions of children at a time. But we don't want to do it alone. We want to do it with you. We now offer you the opportunity to join us as franchisees of Brainy Bunch Islamic Montessori, where you can directly impact and change the lives of children in your community for the better. Together, we can provide the best solution that the world will ever need, a good future led by good leaders of tomorrow. But these leaders need us now, as they are still the children of today. Together, we can develop the Ummah. Together, 2 billion future leaders and more will benefit from our efforts, inshallah. Amin ya Rab. Click the link below to join us in this effort. Jazakallahu khairan kathiran. See you later, inshallah.